On a numbers game, the right data changes everything, and the data behind Shopify is hard to argue with. Millions of businesses worldwide run on it, including our own VSiN store. When we launched, Shopify's templates and AI tools got us live fast. Professional looking from day one. No tech background needed. Shopify checkout converts more customers and makes it easy for returning fans to come back and buy again in a single click. Shopify's built-in AI assistant Sidekick is there whenever you need help, building, troubleshooting, or just figuring out your next move. Check out what we built at vsin.com/store. Then go build something of your own. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. That's shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Second hour of the program here. Dustin Swedelson filling in for Gil Alexander all week on a numbers game. That is Kelley Bydlon. He is always here. He lives here. He sleeps underneath this desk.
Yes, it's gross. Someone clean the floor.
We've just finished hour number one. I was just thinking, we've covered a lot of ground for 1 hour.
We have.
Especially if we only got sidetracked for about 4.5 total minutes in the first hour, which is pretty good for you and me.
Guess so. Right?
Yeah.
Sports-specific guests. World Cup, MLB, that helps.
Well, if you missed those conversations, Alex Crook on the World Cup, Terry Collins on the baseball all-star game tonight, plus looking at a couple teams in the second half of the season. You can always download this show and every show on VSiN wherever you get your podcast. And keeping us on task is another guest.
That's right.
He is Drew Dinsick. You catch him over at NBC, also on X at @whale_capper, and the Deep Dive podcast available wherever you get your podcast. Drew joins us now on the Progressive Guest Line. Drew, I was joking with Kelley. I keep making 90s wrestling references where I stopped caring after I got into high school and girls got involved in my life. Not that the girls cared about me, but I cared about the girls. Were you into WWE, WCW back in the 90s? Did you care about, because I called us the New Age Outlaws. Does that reference hit home at all?
No.
You know what? You know what this one is? You know why it doesn't hit? Kelley says he was out of the country. This is a situation where Drew was like me. He probably started caring about girls, but girls actually cared about Drew.
yeah, and he had to swim. Yeah, he was in the pool all the time, swimming or hanging out with chicks, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Swimming underrated. The underrated part about swimming as a youth is it was a co-ed sport. Basically, I'm married to a woman I swam with in college, so that's the way it goes.
You know what?
There you go. We did not know that.
I think I must be older than you guys by a little bit. My wrestling touchstones were the 80s. By the time we got to the 90s, I had aged out, I think.
Okay. Well, I kind of want the background. We only have 10 minutes. I kind of want the background story of Drew courting his wife, how they met.
Oh, we've had a lot of, there was the Cameron Crazy stories from Drew earlier in the year about how the swimming team used to kind of bash on the kids hanging out outside. It was that I found that very funny. Yeah, I found that very funny.
Wait, did you go to Duke?
Yeah, there's
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
I
didn't know you were a Dookie. I'm learning all sorts of things today.
It turns out you don't really advertise that. It's not the coolest.
We're also playing. We're playing a dangerous game where all of a sudden we're humanizing the handicapper. I don't know if that's healthy for the ecosystem here in betting.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, but no, you wouldn't know unless you were kind of deeply embedded with swimming culture. But there's a long, rich history of swimcest, where because it is a co-ed sports and you're out there, at the formative ages, everybody is in bathing suits. It's
makes sense. Checks out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now I got to ask the most random question of all time. Drew Dinsick is our guest, NBC sports betting analyst at @Will_Capper on X. Did you ever compete against some Olympian that maybe we watched on TV? Because I have to deal with, my father went to Miami. He was a competitive swimmer when he was a kid. He didn't do it in college. Obviously, it's a Division I school, but he competed against a long distance guy in a sprint, and he beat the gold medalist. The guy won a gold, but he was a long distance guy. My dad beat him in the sprint. He's like, give me your gold medal now. I'm a better swimmer than you. Did you ever compete against any Olympians we may know?
Oh yeah, definitely. So in my generation at senior nationals in like New England, we had two Olympians come through. One was a guy named Ian Crocker. Ian Crocker won the gold medal in the 100 or 200 fly. I think in Athens, 2004. He beat Michael Phelps at the time. Ultimately, Michael Phelps surpassed him in quality. But
so
Ian
you're
Crocker,
better than Michael Phelps. That's how that works.
Yeah,
basically. I beat Ian Crocker when he was 14, and then Ian Crocker beat Michael Phelps when Michael Phelps was 14. So by proxy, I was faster than Michael Phelps. I also I won a state championship in the 500 freestyle when I was a senior in Massachusetts. Same year that Eric Vent swam the 500 freestyle. He went quite a lot faster than me, but we were in just different divisions. So I have a state title, even though he beat me by almost 30 seconds. So Eric Vent went on to win a silver or bronze, I think, in some distance free in also, I think, 2004 in Athens. So those were the guys that were my contemporaries.
The more you know. I love this.
The more you know. The state champion, Drew Dinsick, joining the show. Appreciate your time. Drew, I'm going to plug this first in case we don't get to NFL. I saw it this morning when I pulled up my podcast feed. Deep Dive has begun their NFL team previews. If you're like me, this is one of a must listen throughout the offseason as we lead into the NFL season, as you're preparing for all your futures and everything. But going in transition to the World Cup, you've been betting it like crazy. You've been doing well. Semifinals starting today. Or maybe he's not doing well. All right, France and Spain starting today.
The World Cup, World Cup will be a winning enterprise regardless of how we run out.
All right,
I'm
good.
very, very, very satisfied with my performance so far.
Okay, good. All right, first semi today. You got any bets between France and Spain?
Absolutely. It's kind of funny too, because like, I think I've watched, I'll just ballpark. We've had 100 of the 104 matches have been completed. Each of those is 90 to 120 minutes. I think I probably watched in the ballpark of 90% of them. So even with all of that time dedicated to eye test of which teams are good and who's good players, whatever, I don't think that you could say with high confidence how this runs out. I think that both of these matches, in the semifinals are coin flips. I think you can say with pretty high confidence that you would make the winner of today's semifinal a healthy favorite against whoever comes through on the bottom. For me, coming into this tournament, Spain was the better team than France. To me, what we've seen so far in this tournament, France is the better attacking team. Spain is the better defending team. France is the best attacking team in this entire tournament. Yeah. Spain is the best defending team in this entire tournament. And it's strength on strength. The matchup is pretty fun because Spain is going to dominate possession. Spain is going to create chances and then not finish them. And then France is going to have some absolutely electric lightning bolt counters. And it's going to come down to how organized is Spain's defense to be able to match those counters. Does France's speed overwhelm? It's going to be very, very small stuff around the edges. But Spain dominant possession, failing to convert chances is one half of the equation. And then France electric counterattacks, the other half of the equation. I think both teams will ultimately score here. I think that the draw is in play at plus 205. I'm going to call a 1-1 final with Spain advancing in extra time. On the base of a 108-minute goal by Spain to advance in additional time. So it's going to be so close, though. I know we have two matchups between these two teams in recent years with relatively similar squads in the Nations League final, which I don't know, you can kind of throw out. That had a very exhibition-y feel to it. Spain goes up 5-1, ultimately wins 5-4. I don't think we're going to see anywhere close to the same amount of fireworks and scoring that we saw in that contest. And then, of course, at the Euro semifinal in 2024, Spain came through 2-1 against France, but that was a very close match as well. So Draw plus 205 looks like the best bet. Both teams to score, I think, is a fair play. I kind of like the 1-1 exact at price. And I have Spain to advance and a parlay with Argentina to advance, which I guess you want to probably talk about now.
Yeah, I like where your head's at. But the Spain factor is fascinating today, just because if they make it the pace that they want to play with and force it limited possessions for France could get really difficult for them. And then Spain in the final, who do they see? England and Argentina. England minus 135 to advance, Argentina plus 110, Drew. I think Argentina's tired, but they do have a lot of goal scoring options. Obviously Messi, but some others as well. And then England's back line concerns me. I don't know what to make of England and Argentina. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, I think I would be more concerned about fatigue for England. I know what you're saying. Argentina, definitely has they haven't made a compelling case. The last 3 matches have been a little on the play with their food side of things. But that said, they're a deep team. When they do create chances, it does feel like they're just bringing out the entire, thunder of the, all 11 players on the field are all crashing the box at the same time to put away rebounds or, create extra chances. And, those moments, it's like you flip a switch and Argentina goes from looking very pedestrian to just, absolutely electric. I think that's will happen at least once in this match, and Argentina will get on the score sheet. England, on the other hand, is relying entirely on the brilliance of Jude Bellingham. I don't think any of the other England players have really distinguished themselves, and they're all dealing with, various degrees of injury or illness. So this is in my opinion, at least, this is where the run ends for England. I think, the fact that they had to go to altitude and play Mexico, turn around and play Norway in the heat with all of the things that are going on injury and illness wise does not portend well for England, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. I thought Norway were the better team in 90 minutes against England, and ultimately it was not, the inability for them to, for Sorloth to find Holland, the unfortunate taking down of the deciding goal for Norway, really kind of kept England's hopes alive before they advanced there. So, as someone who had both teams to score with draw parlayed, I was perfectly fine that it was 1-1 into extra. But I don't know that England, deserved to come through that one. Argentina, I think, comes through, and I don't know that it's going to be in extra time. I think, that we have yet to see them perform to the level that they're capable of. They're a deeper team. I'm expecting some surprises and adjustments to how they ultimately, put their lineup together and how they manage their lineup throughout the contest. I think they're going to be pretty aggressive in terms of getting fresh legs on the field to try to take advantage of some of the fatigue disadvantage that England faces. And England really just, they're kind of running out of guys as far as I can tell you. So hopefully it's a good match. Hopefully it's compelling. Argentina to advance. I'll call it 2-1.
Drew Dinsick, NBC analyst, state champion, husband, Blue Devil. We learned a lot today, my friend. Good luck with the bets.
All right, best of luck, guys.
You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro. On a numbers game, the right data changes everything, and the data behind Shopify is hard to argue with. Millions of businesses worldwide run on it, including our own VSiN store. When we launched, Shopify's templates and AI tools got us live fast. Professional looking from day one. No tech background needed. Shopify Checkout converts more customers and makes it easy for returning fans to come back and buy again in a single click. Shopify's built-in AI assistant Sidekick is there whenever you need help, building, troubleshooting, or just figuring out your next move. Check out what we built at vsin.com/store. Then go build something of your own. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. That's shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin.
VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
Early morning action in the WNBA. Welcome back into a numbers game. That's Kelley Bydlon. I'm Dustin Swedelson in for Gil Alexander all week long. Early start in Connecticut. The Sun lead the Fire 19-17, Kelley. And if you went to VSiN.com this morning getting ready to handicap games, well, you saw Tyler Shoemaker with his article, front and center. What he liked? He liked Connecticut plus 1.5. Before this one got started, Kelley, I grabbed a little Connecticut minus 150 because they went from plus 1.5 at the time of Tyler's article to minus 2.5 at tip-off. And thus far, they're leading by 4, 21-17, 4:15 to go in the first quarter.
You know what? I asked you before this game started. 11 a.m. Eastern tip. Isn't this just an auto look to the under? And no bet for me. But the way this game has started might be a live under for me. Live WNBA bet at 8:15 in the morning. This might actually be happening. 21-17, under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Connecticut Sun are shooting 73% from the field, 2 for 3 from 3. And you got 50% with 3 for 4 from 3 from the Portland Fire on the other side. So I might be attacking some shooting percentages here if we get into the second quarter.
Can we get that game on one of the TVs in studio, guys? We had a debate in the back. How many people are actually at this game? Because it's being played in Connecticut. What do they play at, Mohegan? Or they play at one of the casinos.
It's Mohegan Sun, right?
Yeah. Which I've been to that area. Obviously, we went to Foxwoods. Myself, Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard back in the day, and it's the middle of nowhere.
Does that mean I always make fun of the Marlins, right? Like the Marlins used to get every summer camp in the world, to come to the games, right? Like, can they do that? But if you're at a casino, can you do that? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, because the arena's separate because they need that stuff. Right. I'm sure they have like Disney on Ice if that still exists. Stuff like that probably plays.
It does still exist. I just saw a promo for I heard a promo for Disney on Ice like 2 months ago. I can't believe you just brought this up.
I can still picture my parents fighting with me because I wanted the stupid flashlight that had the thing that spun around that shot colors out. They're like, it's a $3 toy, and you're going to make us spend like $20 on this.
Darnell's got one for you.
He does?
Yeah.
He's got
those glow sticks. Yeah.
I mean, I'm very pro glow stick. But to your point about camps, I do think like I want this to come out the right way. If you're a basketball camp and you want to learn fundamentals, I mean this honestly, you should be watching women's basketball.
Oh yeah.
When the phrase "play the game the right way," like they do all the little fundamentals right. Like if you're a youth team learning how to like implement what you want to do as a team and like learn how to play the game and get everything right, you should be going and watching WNBA games.
Yeah,
men or women.
I think that was very well said.
Or boys or girls, I'd say. They're not men or women if they're in the camp. Yeah. A little bit weird.
And I think you see precise. I mean, it's all the boxing out. It's all the fundamentals, right? Everything that you could buy that you need. You're totally. If you're a younger player, I think it's a great sport to be watching.
Now that I say this, I would go to an adult camp if that was an option.
The Palms. Swear to God, I just saw this. I don't know what it means. The Palms is cleared out one of their restaurants or like an area in the casino, and they were doing an adult summer camp. You can Google this. It's a thing. I don't really know what that means.
But if I want summer camp, I want summer camp. I want the woods. I want sleeping in like a cabin type thing. I want all the games and a lake and that whole deal. Like I want to live the heavyweights life.
I hear great movie. I hear you. I would like to as well, but this did jump out to me. I'd have to go check this out.
They're probably charging a lot for it.
I don't know what it means.
You know what it means? Las Vegas is an adult summer camp. I don't know what you could possibly be doing at the Palms. Come and gamble and drink. That is being an adult and at summer camp these days. What are we talking about?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm about to find this for you.
All right. Well, will the British Open drive me to drinking? That is the question we are asking today.
You already started.
We looked at, it's true. We looked at some of the trends earlier today that jumped out to Kelley. We looked at the course as well. Royal Birkdale is the spot this year. First time since 2017. And the thing that jumps out to me, Kelley, when I look at the betting board is the bait. The bait. Are you going to take the bait at the top? Because right now over at DraftKings, Scotty Scheffler is your favorite. Plus 620. Rory's right after him at plus 860. Do you believe Scotty, in the form that he's in, deserves to be that much shorter than Rory at plus 860?
Great question. This has been a thing now for the past several big tournaments, especially the majors of you got to shop around. These wildly different prices book to book on Scheffler. DraftKings has had pretty consistently one of the more muted prices on Scheffler, one of the lower prices on Scheffler. No, to answer your question, I would not have this big a gap between Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy. I think when you could start shopping around, you will find some shops that have Scheffler plus 750 and Rory at about plus 850. I think that's probably a little bit more accurate. I would probably still have Scheffler as the favorite over him, but it would be slight, Dustin. It would be slight.
Okay. And then this course, as far as links golf is concerned, firm fairways, unpredictable bounces. We've got wind, we've got bunkers, we've got weather impacting this, which is why I keep staring at Tommy Fleetwood. He's 18-1. He's the third shot on the betting board. Obviously very familiar with playing links golf. Is he the best player currently going without a major right now?
Oh, man. Probably. Yeah, we could have that argument over a few people. He's up there, though. He's definitely up there. This is his hometown, too, so that narrative's going to come into play.
What do you think of the fit here for him?
Oh, it's a great fit. It's a great fit.
Too chalky, though?
Absolutely too chalky. I think from an outright perspective, I think this is one of the worst bets on the board right now. Like really? 18-1. Tommy should not be sub 20.
You're going to let Tommy, you're going to leave him out there, let him beat you because he hasn't proven he can finish the job?
Yeah. This is a guy the win equity is very, very small with. We have seen this over the years. He's been, look, I think if you want to look at him in a top 20 market and playing some matchups, I think that's a good way to go. But just remember, all these prices are correlated. Like, I think I'm betting a top 20 on him. But like, you're paying a bit of a tax just to do that. And you got to be aware of that. It's 5 top 20s in a row, though, for him. He's had one of those seasons. I brought this up yesterday when we were doing long shots. We did our first look episode yesterday. We'll be doing our full regular preview here this afternoon. Myself, Wes Reynolds, Matt Brown. We were talking about this yesterday, and it feels like Scotty Scheffler, with the not getting the wins, has gotten so much of the attention that Tommy Fleetwood's not a guy that I actively go to look to bet. And I pulled up some of his results yesterday. I'm like, he is playing a lot better than a lot of us golf experts seemingly talk about him. Again, 5 top 20 finishes in a row for him. I think he's a great look. He is a great fit for this tournament. You're going to need guys. I think you need guys that are going to be accurate off the tee, really good on approach. It is probably the most important second shot golf course in the open rotation. So approach stats matter a lot. Then these are smaller greens, and if wind picks up like it probably will at some point, you're going to miss greens. So around the green play, accuracy off the tee, and approach, most important statistics this week for this golf course. Tommy Fleetwood checks about every single one of those boxes.
But it sounds like you're avoiding him. Are you avoiding Rory and Scotty, which then leads me, who near the top of the board jumps out to you?
So this is kind of a waiting game for me with the outright market right now. I want to see what happens with these Scheffler and Rory numbers. You could easily make a case for betting either one of these guys at these numbers, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't think either one maybe come in with the perfect form. I was on Rory last week at the Scottish Open. I firmly believe if Rory didn't mess around with his third round on Saturday with the ugly weather that they were having and play as poorly as he did, he would have won that event. He probably would have been entering as the tournament favorite. So I have no problem. I think you're getting a little bit of a boost on price of probably what you should be getting on Rory right now. Because if he had won the Scottish Open, I do think he enters as the favorite this week for the Open Championship. So I don't have a problem. I'm waiting to see where that Rory number goes. It hit 10-1 last week, and that was enough to bring me in. If I see a 10-1 on Rory, I'm in. I don't think I'm going to get that. The other guy at the top of the board I don't think you can overlook at all is Matt Fitzpatrick. He has been one of the best golfers all season long.
He's the only outright I've ever hit in a tournament.
There you go. The only outright you've hit. I've hit him this year. Last 16 rounds, he was my third highest rated golfer. He is second on accuracy off the tee, second on approach stats, fifth around the green, and fifth in bogey avoidance. Even the recent results, he picked back up to like where he is in the beginning of the season. T3 last week at Scottish Open. He checks that box about playing well in the Scottish Open leading into the Open Championship, if you want to follow those trends. He was fourth at the Travelers, 22nd at the U.S. Open, second at the RBC Canadian Open. This is plus 1850 actually is a great price at DraftKings on Matt Fitzpatrick. If that was available to me right now, Dustin, I probably would be a bet Matt Fitzpatrick completed the rest of my outright card, and I'd be moving on. Right now, I'm waiting to see, though, right now, the best I can get is 16-1 on Fitz. I'm waiting to see if that drifts a bit here, or if that Rory number drifts, then I'm going to complete my outright card. 2 bets I did make yesterday. Sam Burns. just had a baby. We were on baby watch with him. We didn't even know if he was going to be playing in this tournament. He did not play in the Scottish Open last week. Man, looking at recent statistics, his approach numbers, which is not the best part of his game, he is number one in this field over the last 16 rounds on approach. We know he's one of the best putters on the PGA Tour. If that comes into play more this week, I think Sam Burns shows up. He's not had a ton of great Open success, but he's been a big-time player at majors, especially this year. Second at the U.S. Open, 26th at the PGA, and a T7 at the Masters. I like Burns. I bet him at 52-1. And then Colin Morikawa, bring me back in. I'm in on Morikawa. I bet him at 32-1 last night. So those are my two outrights to start. I'm going to finish with one of those guys at the top of the board.
More on the British Open later on in the show and tomorrow on the program. We talk second half of Major League Baseball next with Mark Borchard.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
July the 14th be with you on a Tuesday. Appreciate you hanging out with us in the AM, wherever you may be. He's Kelley Bydlon. I'm Dustin Swedelson. At SiriusXM Channel 158, YouTube TV, the VSiN Watch app, radio affiliates everywhere. Brain went completely dead for a good half a second there.
I caught that.
You felt it.
Yeah, I felt it.
It was palatable.
Thought I was going to have to take over.
Well, that's
roll him off to the side and take over.
But that's what we get to do here. We get to let someone else take over. As we've neglected baseball for a couple segments here. We have the All-Star game tonight. I'll have some plays on the MVP market a little bit later. I'm going deep down the board. And if you bet on the home run derby last night, you're profitable if you followed this guy's advice. He's Mark Borchard. You hear him on this program every single week at BaseWinner on X, and he joins us via the Progressive guest line. All right, Mark, let's talk about the article you put out. You posted it on X yesterday. A very profitable and successful home run derby for you. Jordan Walker gets the win. You also like Schwarber there. They meet in the finals, which is like a dream for you to lock in and guarantee you're going to win something. What ultimately led to you backing Jordan Walker in this spot to win the home run derby?
Well, it's something that I've done for the last, 2019, so 7 years. And I used to be really lousy at the home run derby. I wanted to get involved in it. So I did a pretty extensive research project in 2019. And I came up with, let's do off speed last 3 years. We did exit velocity and balls in play, launch speed, balls in play, and then home runs per ball in play. And I've been doing that the last 7 years. And so what I do is I put three guys into like a Dutch bet. So yesterday I put Contreras, Walker, and Schwarber. And I'm not making this up. It's on my site, all into a Dutch bet for plus 130. So, it's been really good. And it's one of those things, I was talking to Kelley before I came on. It's like a fairly simple process, and you wonder, well, maybe it's just a sample size thing, but it's won the last 6 to 7 years. So I always look forward to the All-Star break, particularly the home run derby. And then, of course, I don't know about you guys, but it's nice to have a little bit of a breath of fresh air where you don't have to grind it out every day to kind of update your models and just take a couple hours off at least.
Yeah, for you two with Major League Baseball and for me with NBA, if any sport that you're doing every single day, a little bit of a break just to reset and even refresh your own brain and then kind of reset all your numbers and look at everything. I'm with you, Mark. Break is good. All right, July most wins. We did not get to this yesterday, so I'll update this leaderboard. Gil Alexander somewhere in San Francisco or wherever, just having the time of his life right now. This is 80-1 ticket on the Boston Red Sox is looking pretty good. 9-1. They lead the monthly record here, and then we got a bunch of teams with 7 wins. Updated odds at DraftKings. Red Sox plus 110. Rays 7-1. Brewers 10-1. Braves 12-1, Tigers 13-1, Guardians 13-1. I know you had some thoughts on kind of your sims and what they're showing and where there might be some value on the board here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, big shout out to Gil for getting ahead of it. I mean, how well did that season, did that age, right? Yeah. So he was all over that one. And one of the things I do is I've been working on this market. He kind of turned me on to the market a couple years ago, and I've been doing this and simulating the market. So I'm updating it every week, and you can kind of see how my July monthlies have evolved, and some of them have not been so good, particularly the Mets and the Dodgers. But I've been with these two teams from a bomb standpoint, the Twins and the Orioles, and they're still showing value in the market. Now, both of those teams 7-3. I've got the Twins with a 13% chance, so plus 643 from a probability standpoint, and they're in the market right now at 18-1. And then the Orioles I have them at 11.8%, so plus 747 on the money line, and they're 25-1. So, I mean, I hope one of these three teams win. I actually am really rooting for Gil. I think that he puts a lot of time and effort into that, and I enjoy it so much that I built some Monte Carlo simulations for the month, and it's been one of the funnest. But I don't know if you guys do the betting there. Dustin, do you do any monthly betting? It's a super fun market.
I pick and choose. I'll maybe do 2 or 3 a year. I really have to like the options. My biggest problem with this, Mark, is I always go way deep down the board for the long shots. And when I do that, that's when something shorter hits. When I go shorter, the long shot winds up hitting. I have not ever cashed one of these, but I only do maybe 3 a year at most. But you mentioned the Orioles off to a good start. And I don't think they're going to do this. But I keep dreaming about a world where Baltimore's ownership in the second half, they're the team that tries to trade for Tarek Skubal or tries to get a legitimate frontline starter. Because I still believe in a wide open American League, there could be value deep down the board in terms of making the postseason. I think you're not as high on Boston continuing the run that they're on and making the playoffs, Mark. But what about someone else? Does anyone else jump out to you as maybe an undervalued playoff look?
Well, Dustin, you brought up a really good point about the trade deadline and what teams are going to do. And unfortunately, I don't feel like I'm an expert enough to be able to model that, to be able to put it into a model. So what I do is I do the sims based on the team, the way they're composed right now. And so I think that maybe if I give out a couple plays, like, people can inject their own opinion on what they're going to do at the trade deadline. But there's actually 6 teams to make the playoffs that show value. And I'll just kind of list them in order of how I have them written down. So the Cardinals, I've got it at 174, and they're in the market at about 330. I'm looking at DraftKings to make the playoffs. So Cardinals are check that. Cardinals are plus 300. They've got a 36.5% chance, so it should be plus 174. Cubs, I have at minus 900, and they're priced at minus 525. That's a good one. I've got the Guardians at minus 213, and they're at minus 245. So that's not a good one. I shouldn't have had that one on the list, so I apologize for that. But the Astros, I have 56.4% time to get in the playoffs, minus 129. And they're at plus 210. So that's one I like. Oh, and this one, can't forget the National. These two, Nationals and Marlins. Nationals should be plus 213, and they're plus 1,200. Marlins, I have at minus 122, and they're plus 200. So there's quite a few value plays. And again, that's based on just what the pure probabilities are with my rating. So, take that for what it's worth, and then kind of make your own injection there as far as like what you think is going to happen at the trade deadline, Dustin.
Yeah, love it. So that was Cubs, Marlins, Cardinals, Nationals at current price, and one more I'm missing, Mark?
Cards, Cubs, Astros, Nationals, and Marlins.
Astros, that was the one I was missing. Okay.
The Astros is a good one just because if you look at some of the numbers, since Josh Hader returned, the bullpen numbers have improved. They were blowing a lot of games late and making them out of reach. Hunter Brown back. I don't know if he's going to find that for him, but I think the All-Star break could be good for him. The concern would be pitching. Now, you brought up the Nationals, and you still have them at a plus price, but significantly shorter of the market right now. I went on Pod to the Futures with JVT and Mitch Moss, and that episode will be coming out, I believe, today. And Mitch threw out the idea of James Wood for MVP. And I think if Washington makes the playoffs and there's an injury to Ohtani, that feels like the guy I'm thinking about here, Mark, is James Wood as an MVP candidate. We need a lot to happen with Ohtani. But how do you feel about what Washington's done with him hitting leadoff, 10 leadoff home runs this season. He's already cleared his total on the season of home runs in the year. Do you believe Wood has staying power as an MVP candidate?
I certainly do, Dustin. That's a good point. You know, it's very timely because I did first team offense, base winner first team offense today. Another post on my site. I hope you guys enjoy those posts. They're really fun posts. But what the interesting thing was who's got the best base winner runs created in the National League. And guess what? Who that is? It's James Wood at 7.97 base winner runs. So he tops that National League lineup for me. So I think you're onto something there, Dustin.
Last one before we let you go. Mark Borchard's with us, baseball handicapper, BaseWinner.com, at BaseWinner on X. I think I'm going all in on the Phillies to win the NL, win the World Series, because Wheeler looks like old Wheeler. Do you think I'm crazy, or do you believe in the fighting Phils in the second half?
I've got them 86% to win to make the playoffs, 59% to win the division. So my model is right with you guys. And again, that's derived from the component ratings. So the component ratings are good, and you can look at that bullpen, and they've got some pieces there. They've been top 5 all year for me. And then of course the hitting's, got two guys in the home run derby yesterday, and they anchored that lineup as well as top to bottom. It's pretty good too, Dustin.
He is Mark Borchard. Check him out, BaseWinner.com, at BaseWinner on X. Love chatting with you, my friend. We'll do it again in a couple weeks, I think, when I'm back in here.
Yeah.
Sounds good. My pleasure, guys.
And great job on the handicap. Jordan Walker, home run derby.
That was easy. Yeah, easy for Mark.
When he started swinging and he looked so chill, it was casual home runs. It was like, all right, this is going to be an issue. Murakami certainly was an issue. Schwarber, I felt good about for a minute. And then Walker just devastated me. Hey, the VSiN NFL betting guide, it is out right now. It is spectacular. Futures, win totals, division races, MVP, rookie of the year or more. I have a write-up on MVP. Find out what that is by getting it with our football special for just $175. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe now. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Speaking of football, the AFC West. I was shocked when I looked at these teams and saw this. Find out what that is next.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers tell the story. That's what the guy says at the top of every hour. I listen to it.
I can't tell if you're just making fun of me or not. Was Dustin making fun of me? I type loudly.
No.
He just hit his computer.
No, I have a couple ticks. One is if there's downtime in my life and I'm around people, I whip my phone out and I just start scrolling Twitter. That's one tick that I have. I have another one where I twirl my hair when I'm anxious. And I'll walk around the house and I'll look in the mirror and I'll have one piece of hair sticking out.
How does that work?
The other tick, dude, you don't want to know. I have another tick.
His hair.
I have another tick when I'm just trying to focus. I slam the mouse part.
Okay, all right.
And I just hit the home button over and over again.
Okay, all right, good.
It's not healthy. It's not normal. But when I deal with my therapist every other Wednesday, it doesn't even crack the top 10 issues that we're working on right now. If I'm going to be honest.
I haven't heard that one.
It's
I was trying to finish an email quick.
No, I'm always home screen on Twitter, as if Twitter's going to actually show me stuff in real time.
Right. Yeah.
And
3 hours ago.
That's the great debate I have with the fiance is that she doesn't understand. I'm I have to be on Twitter when something big's happening because I don't know if it's going to stay in my algorithm when I need to prep the show. And she's I think that's just an excuse to ignore me. And I'm yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah.
But
yes and no.
If you're not on social media as it's currently happening, there's a chance you'll miss out on the factoids and the certain pieces we need to do the show.
Absolutely. 100%. I'm with you.
So there.
I understand.
My fiance's listening. Kelley co-signs. I'm allowed to keep doing it.
Yep.
He told me I'm allowed.
He's allowed.
Kelley told me I'm allowed. I'm also allowed to bet the NFL. I'm a big boy. I'm an adult here. And we're going to tackle the AFC West today. We'll do a couple other divisions later in the week. By the way, ACC Media Days start tomorrow in North Carolina. We will talk ACC during the week. I'll have some thoughts there. And I think people, North Carolina opens with TCU again. A lot of people have not forgotten about what went down last year. I haven't done a ton of prep on North Carolina, but my anticipation is they're going to be improved. They're catching 6.5 in week 1. I might be the ultimate contrarian and back Bill Belichick in week 1. We'll do more on that tomorrow. But the AFC West is what we're tackling in the NFL right now. I got to tell you, Kelley, when I dove into these teams, it's not like we don't know who they are. I mean, the identities are pretty consistent. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Herbert's been with the Chargers. We have another year of Harbaugh. Sean Payton and Bo Nix together, I was dead wrong about this combination. I'm now somewhat of a Bo lever.
Oh, man.
But
yeah,
you can't talk about this division without talking about the schedule runs that these teams find themselves on, most notably the contenders. So let's start with Kansas City. Win total's 10.5. They're plus 160 is the favorite to win this division. They added Justin Fields, Kenneth Walker, DeMarcado at running back. L'Jarius Sneed returns at corner. Kyer Elam comes over to help with the cornerback position. Remember, both their top corners are now with the Los Angeles Rams. They drafted Mansour Delane out of LSU, who I love to replace Trent McDuffie. Peter Woods, I think, is the most underrated player in the draft, who has the potential to be a top 5 guy, and they wound up getting him as late as they did. 28th in schedule, which means that it's 5th hardest this year for Kansas City. And here's why. Week 1, Denver. Week 2, Indy. Pretty difficult. At Miami, at the Raiders, then they have their bye. Week 5 bye is concerning. Philadelphia won a Super Bowl with a Week 5 bye. I don't love that early, but I think for this team, it might actually work out because if Patrick Mahomes isn't back from the ACL, that lets him get acclimated after that Week 5 bye. But it's not a spot where teams traditionally win the Super Bowl. Philadelphia, as I mentioned, prior to them, it was the Saints in 2009 who had a Week 5 bye. That was the last time before that. We want to look for later byes. It's later in the year that has me concerned for the Chiefs. Week 12 to 17, at Buffalo, at the Rams, back-to-back Thursday games, at the Bengals in Week 14, Monday Night Football hosting the Patriots. Say whatever you want about New England. They still went to the Super Bowl last year. Then it's the Niners at the Chargers before finishing with the Raiders. That week to 12 to 17, that's as tough as it gets. And for me, when I look at this division, it's about how these teams are going to navigate the runs that they have to deal with the same teams over and over again.
Yeah, it's the division, one of the toughest divisions that you're going to get in football, and then having to go up against the NFC West as well, right? Like it's an incredible combination for all 4 of these teams that they have to deal with. I think what's interesting with the Chiefs, so you went through the tough games. The easy games, though, there are some easy games on the schedule, right?
It's more for me that they're coming in bunches.
Right.
That is my concern is that, look, they have a nice little stretch at the Dolphins, at the Raiders. You like those two. Jets at Falcons versus Cardinals. That's nice. It's a brutal run, 12 to 17. And that's where the money's made at the end of the season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, I think a couple questions, and this is shout out to Steve McInerney. That's some great notes in the NFL Betting Guide. Go check it out. Mahomes, I don't know how you're treating Mahomes and Knicks. I'm treating them as they're healthy entering the season, at least for all of my offseason prep with these teams. I'm treating them as healthy. I wouldn't be shocked if we have some holdups at the beginning of the season. I think Mahomes is definitely ahead of where Bo Nix is at, but something just to keep on everybody's radar. Reminder, both these guys coming in off of injury. But, Steve did a great job of going through, hey, is Mahomes a little bit on the decline? The numbers have been going down year after year here. And I think that is something that's fair to bring up, especially with, I think there's still some questions at wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't understand the offensive philosophy. I'm just being honest
right,
with you.
yes, there you go.
I don't understand. This is something I had an issue with the Cowboys under Tony Romo when he was the quarterback. And I think Tony Romo got very unfair blame the last few years there because they kept taking weapons away and they kept going, Tony, why can't you be better?
Right.
Hold on, we have less reliable receivers. Why are you not better? I understand it's a salary cap league and that's just kind of the nature of the beast here. But I kind of would have hoped we'd be looking at a year where the number 1 receiver was a true dog.
Yeah.
Not we're trying to figure out if Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton, because I don't know the Rashee Rice situation ever.
Right.
And then Travis Kelce's old.
You're relying a lot on Travis Kelce. So, yeah, I think there are fair questions on the offense, and I'm interested to see with the defense because Steve wrote up some great notes about the defense being on the decline, but I think they've made a lot of offseason additions there, and this defense will be better, and I trust Spagnuolo. But I think it's an interesting team with some questions. And what we saw last year with them only winning 6 games, that this is not going to be an AFC West that they can just roll into the season and win easily.
And because you mentioned questions about Kansas City, the defense with the corner spots, the no true number 1 receiver, Mahomes off the injury, you want to think about someone else here. I just find it very hard to do so. With the adversity of the schedule for all of these teams playing the same guys, And I wanted to think about the Chargers, but when you think about having to deal with adversity, Justin Herbert's the last guy you want to back in these spots. Chargers win totals 9.5. They are the second shot on the board at plus $1.90. Now, that to me says more about Bo Nix's injury than it does about belief in the Chargers, because I still have questions about them addressing needs, right? I still don't know where they stand with the pass rush. They had an interesting offseason. They filled out the offensive line. Tyler Badez comes in to play center. Cole Strange in to play guard. They brought in 2 tight ends to go with Gadsden. And Joko and Kolar, who I like both, 2 totally different looks, very good tight ends here. Yeah. And fullback Alec Ingold leads me to believe that Mike McDaniel wants to run the football with Omarion Hampton. I like Akeem Mesidor. He'll hit the ground running. He's an older rookie. He was awesome at Miami. And then Mike McDaniel. That seems to be like the big point here about the Chargers. If he can unlock what we've been waiting for with Herbert, this team can win the division. But again, it's backing Herbert. And as far as a scheduling standpoint for the Chargers, they open, Cardinals, Raiders. And then this is their 4-week stretch at one point. At Buffalo, at Seattle, versus Denver, at Kansas City. Then they go into their bye. Out of the bye, at the Rams versus the Texans, at the Ravens Monday Night Football. Outside of the bye, you can make the case they can lose all of those games.
You could. The bye comes at a perfect time, though, right? At least you do chop up that ridiculously strong schedule. So it is. There's not going to be a bet for me as far as who to win this division. Like you said, I think it's who else you're looking at. We'll get to Denver. We'll talk about them. I think there's questions there. I loved Jesse Minter. I think what he did with this defense was awesome to watch, really deserving the head coaching job in Baltimore. I think a bit of a wash, though. I'm excited to see McDaniel come in and run this offense. And I think Harbaugh will put a lot of trust in him. I think he's a great head coach. I'm very critical of Justin Herbert. I don't think he gets criticized enough. I think he's another guy, though, like we talk about in Kansas City. I don't know if he has all the pass catchers he needs to be fairly judged either. But as far as regular season goes, Dustin, this would be my lane for who wins the division. Chargers.
Okay. I want to touch on the Broncos in the next segment because they have a couple of issues at play. It's not just Knicks. There was an arrest in the offseason, very concerning, but they made, to me, maybe the most impactful move on their roster in the offseason. We'll talk about that because I think their schedule plays out for a strategic bet. It's not necessarily one you're placing now. It's one you're going to wait on. We'll tell you about that coming up in the next segment. We want to remind you, if you're betting at Circa Sportsbook for a limited time, you can fund your wagers and contest entries with crypto using BurraPay and pay no BurraPay transaction fees. It's fast, secure, and another way Circa continues to innovate for sports bettors. Visit BurraPay.com to learn more. Take advantage of fee-free crypto wagering before August 31st exclusively at Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino. BurraPay transaction fees waived as part of campaign. Standard cryptocurrency network and exchange fees may apply.